upfront, what is the purpose of being on this platform, and where exactly are you reiterating your presence in when it comes to the India market?
Well, platform.
Buzzword. Buzzword as a forum.
Yeah. So, Agility's desire for the Indian marketplace and entering the marketplace certainly is around alternative fuel choices. When we look at our opportunity here, we look at what we've done around the world, we see a market that has actually already adopted compressed natural gas to a very, very large scale. Much better, in fact, than North America from a vehicles in use standpoint. Commercial vehicles, both bus and truck. But from a standpoint of the technology and what India is now trying to do and saying we're going to take those same vehicles and we're going to go longer distances. We're going to phase out more of our diesel fleet going from Bharat 4 to Bharat 6 in a very short period of time. We look at India as a market that's very ripe for opportunity to say, okay, how can I take that same bus and that same truck and double the range of that vehicle? So we look at bringing very light composite Type 4 cylinders to the marketplace in the near future. And a big part of why we're doing that with Advantech is we want to partner with a commercial partner that has a strong presence in the marketplace already.
Right. Broadly speaking, which are the technologies that you're looking at for the Indian market?
So the technologies that we feel make sense right now, there's not just one fuel choice that we look at. When we look at what's in the marketplace now, certainly compressed natural gas makes a lot of sense. It's already being used in the bus sector. You see it in the inner city buses. You don't see it going between the cities on long bus routes. When we look at the truck space, it's already being used in that space, light commercial vehicle, into the medium duty applications. But there you have challenges around frame rail space and how much compressed natural gas can you package to get into that truck, into that operation. So compressed natural gas certainly is a solution for now. However, when we look into the future, in some cases the very near future, and some of the things we're doing around the world, hydrogen, hybrid activity, whether it be compressed natural gas to electric, and then full-on EV, electric vehicle solutions. When we look at the shorter range routes, the intercity routes, we think that we have a great EV solution as well.
The Indian government has recently given an outlay for the FAME 2 scheme, that is a subsidy for alternate fuel vehicles. There, unfortunately, they have talked about elimination of strong hybrids. Since you have a presence in that segment, how does it impact your outlay for India?
Hybrids typically is a very small percentage of our total sales. We're still either full-on compressed natural gas vehicles or we see full-on EV vehicles. We do have a lot of prototype activity going on around the world. In the United States, we're the market share leader in that, but it's still very small numbers. It's typically government-funded or grant dollars that are associated to hybrid activity, whether it be hydrogen. But we do believe, if you look at the modeling of saying, how do I get extended range in a truck application or a bus application, hybrid makes a lot of sense. So you go to a smaller compressed natural gas engine that's running an electric drivetrain. You can get both the efficiency of the electric drivetrain, but also the extended range of compressed natural gas.
If you give us a sense of, rather quantify the market opportunity that you have as is at the moment in India, what are the sales, and when the market is going in a completely opposite direction, seemingly every 2 out of 3 companies are looking at pure EVs. You're looking at something completely different. So what kind of a market opportunity have you already commercialized and established? Are there any numbers to justify this belief that you're on the right track?
We're still working on the numbers right now. The numbers, I will say this, is that the closer we get to Bharat 6, the numbers seem to be increasing more in favor of whether it be our CNG solutions or our EV solutions. So they're growing exponentially because the diesel solution, we know, number one, is dirty. Number two, it's hard to implement Euro 6 regulations with the after treatment that's required to support that sort of activity. So we're working on the numbers right now. They are very attractive to us. And it's primarily around our core competencies, which would be the natural gas.
Are you, since you spoke about the after treatment system, are you against both the EGR and the SCR system, or one of the two, or not completely agreeable with?
I don't know that we have an opinion, from a diesel standpoint. We don't support.
But where exactly does it fail in your opinion, or fall short in your opinion?
So, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, see what's happening is, so far, CNG model in India. It's a pretty successful model. It has been called as a green revolution. Okay. Now, if you look at Euro 6 coming on card on diesel, there are two big problems, which comes to diesel vehicle owner. First, is a capital investment going to increase by 15%, maybe 10 to 20%, because you're adding additional equipment to meet the emission requirements, which also brings a lot of complexity on handling those equipments in the field. The other thing that is bringing is that you're adding an AdBlue other than the fuel. So you're definitely going to have 5 to 6% additional fuel costs to the customer. So you're basically going away from your reference point that is today on diesel. Whereas on CNG, we are upgrading the technology, extending the range, resolving the issues that we and government jointly have to resolve. So we are doing our part. Okay, so what's happening now is that there are certain class of vehicles which are not available on natural gas. There are two basic classes that we found. Okay, one is medium trucks, and the second is heavy duty trucks. In heavy duty trucks, it doesn't make sense today on gas because if you use so many steel tanks on it to get a little bit of range, 250, 300 kilometers even, you eat away 1.5 ton of the vehicle payload. Okay, with our technology, within 500 kgs, maybe 70% of the total weight, you get equal or better range. Okay, in fact, by adding a little bit of a weight, like 500 kgs could give you maybe 600, 700, 800 kilometers. Okay, so that makes that whole vehicle viable on natural gas. Today we have natural gas vehicles only within the city, intra-city. Okay, and they're not going outside the city because the gas is not available. Okay, and if we extend the range to 1,000 kilometers and up, okay, those vehicles which are actually flying out of the city and coming back in 300-400 kilometers, 500 kilometers will become viable automatically, and they can save fuel. They can be green anymore. So that is a big benefit. And we also believe that people standing in queue waiting for gas is also a big question raised on natural gas. Okay, and if I'm giving a range, he need not to go and fill every day. Maybe he can go and fill it third day, second day, which will resolve another big issue. And if stations increases, more cities get added, it will add to the overall volume. So we are not only looking at the existing marketplace to convert to Type 4 tanks that we are bringing in the first place. That will happen, of course. But we are also looking at generating new markets, which are not available today, and they could not get into CNG because of these reasons that I mentioned.
Speaking of the bus market, how viable is this for the bus market? Because you spoke of trucks. How convenient it is to have it on a bus?
Imagine, I know that intercity operations on CNG are not available anywhere in the country today. Okay, it will add intercity operations to all the municipal corporations. Okay, which will be a big benefit to them because we guarantee we can take you to 1,000 kilometers and up. Okay, so you will add intercity operations. Now vehicles can fly between Delhi, Jaipur, Delhi, Amritsar, and so on. Okay, so that will be a big benefit.
So you feel something like this can apply to sleeper coaches? Why not?
Why not?
And also, is this something similar to the range extenders that we hear of in the EV space, the REEV? Does this fall in that kind of a bracket when it comes to alternate fuels? Would it be right to say in layman terms at least? No.
I don't think it is a range extender. It's a full fuel like diesel or petrol. CNG now in India is a conventional fuel. We don't call it alternate fuel anymore. It is alternative fuel because it saves you a lot of pollution. Okay, but people know how to handle it. It runs normal. There is no subsidiary fuel. There is no secondary fuel on the vehicle. It's a primary fuel. The vehicle runs on it, and you get more range than a diesel vehicle. So this is what people want.
How are you seeing the market pull, particularly for this technology? You would have approached quite a few people with this technology. You would have created an awareness for this technology. So how is the response in terms of being receptive to this? Because it's very unconventional and unheard of in the Indian market to have such long ranges on CNG.
We are very excited with the initial demos that we made and the customer interviews and discussions that we had. State transports, OEMs, fleet owners, they are extremely excited. They had no solution to go to CNG. Okay, one side government is pulling, other side they had no solution. So this is definitely going to bridge that gap.
From somebody who has a bird's eye view of the industry, speaking of all the technologies put together, not confined to just CNG, you feel that tomorrow's market is a market that is not going to have a clear monopoly from one technology. It's going to be something that will house all technologies, and depending on the requirement of a particular customer, you will, as an OEM particularly, you will have to feed all kind of products to them, and not necessarily be confined to only EVs or only the BS6 or only CNG. You agree with that school of thought that it's not going to be all EVs?
Yeah, we believe that even if EV comes into the market, it will come at its own pace.
Right.
Even if it has to reach out in big buses market or maybe intercity operations, it will take time. So different markets will have their different solutions. They will save environment, they will help environment in their own way.
Right.
Okay, so somewhere gasoline will make sense, somewhere CNG will make sense, somewhere electric will make sense.
Right.
So we believe that CNG still for intercity long distance, CNG is going to continue to be the solution because this kind of range on EV is still a bit difficult.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Will this also be suitable as a retrofit option to existing vehicles, or it has to be a completely ground-up platform?
Absolutely suitable to existing vehicles.
Right.
So we are basically doing engine management and the fuel storage.
Right.
So basically we can do 2 ways. One is if somebody has a CNG bus, we can make a range longer. Okay, just by removing the tanks or replacing the tanks.
Right.
Okay, existing CNG buses,
right.
or we can retrofit the diesel buses to CNG to save them fuel and to make the environment more clean.
Right. Could you give me the different types of placements in the vehicle? Is it going to be like underneath the vehicle? Somewhere we heard of rooftop installations also. So what are the different kind of installations we are looking at? And does the truck installation differ from the bus installation?
Yes and yes. So we have multiple different configurations that we look at. For the Indian market, for bus applications, we have what we call underfloor attached to the chassis. And that's for a high floor bus.
Right.
For your intracity buses, be more roof mount type systems that the cylinders would sit up on the roof. And that's one of the beautiful things about Type 4 cylinders is you take, in some cases, up to 1,000 kilograms off the roof of the bus and still have the same capacity and fuel.
Right.
Or you can add more tanks and still be significantly below the weight. So you lower the center of gravity of the bus.
Right.
And you allow it to carry more passengers and have better fuel efficiency.
Right.
In regards to other applications, so we have the undercarriage for bus, we have the roof mount, and trucking applications, we would look at back of cab. So vertically stacking the cylinders behind the cab itself, as well as putting them on the frame rails between the front axle and the first back axle, depending on how many axles they have. So we look at those applications. So there's a multitude of different configurations. When you get into refuse and refuse handling, there's even more places that we can put the different cylinders, and that's one of the things that we do is work with the OEMs as a tier 1, packaging the solutions.
Right. Have you come across customers who fear homologation as initially when they're not too aware of the technology that you're offering? Is that one of the concerns?
Yes, it is. One of the concerns is this. It's not necessarily the technology. Certainly in India, this is a marketplace that understands CNG systems.
Right.
It's been using it, and most of the OEMs have as well. However, coming up with different configurations, that's where it requires support of, the tier 1 giving engineering support, taking experiences from other applications and bringing it into the engineering team.
Right.
You have the added effect in this marketplace right now that you have a market and OEMs that are gearing up for BS6.
Right.
There's a lot of engineering activity that's going towards them. That's where we come in with our engineering team to support them and say, let us handle the design of the fuel system.
Right.
We can take care of that, and we integrate our team with the OEM's team to design those systems.
Right. Lastly, what is the focus on production over here? How geared up are you to take on the demand that you expect?
So we have a phased approach to the Indian marketplace. First step is around the commercial activity and finding a right commercial partner, which we've done with Advantech, and moving forward with that to establish application engineering, commercial support, get prototyping activity going on in the marketplace, which we're doing. Phase 2 will be actually having a manufacturing plant for the Type 4 cylinders in this market.
Right.
Now, I'll say this also, is that Agility is agnostic to fuel choice, whether it be EV, whether it be hybrid types of applications. LNG applications. Our desire will be to manufacture the product in India for the Indian marketplace, not to import it. We know that's not a competitive situation.
Right. Assuming, obviously, your entire focus seems to be a lot more centric towards CNG, but in the alternate fuel space, would you have some kind of mental hierarchy because you've studied the market very carefully, whether it's CNG first, LNG, LPG, or how does it rank in your perspective?
For the Indian marketplace, certainly CNG is obviously a big opportunity right now, whether it be the retrofitting and conversion of Type 1 type systems to Type 4 to take weight out of the system, or new homologation of Type 4 systems.
Right.
LNG will also be an opportunity for us in this marketplace.
Right.
And EV as well. We're already having conversations in the marketplace in regards to our EV solutions.
Right.
So EV will take time to ramp up, but certainly those are conversations that we're already having with the different OEMs in this market.
Right. So to sum it up all, in the short to medium and medium to long term, what are your growth areas and challenge areas?
The growth area certainly is around the ability to penetrate the natural gas market and get the conversions to Type 4, take weight out,
Right.
and extend range. That is the immediate opportunity, is to say we've got limited infrastructure, whether it be charging stations or whether it be filling stations for natural gas.
Right.
So we need to have the ability to have that bus or that truck to go from point A to point B and fill back up again.
Right.
So that is job number one. Job number two will be taking a look at the different usage patterns. As we said earlier, there's not one fuel choice that will dominate the market. Depending on geographies, there may be more liquid natural gas in an area, there may be better electrical infrastructure in an area. There's going to be different needs in the marketplace. But more importantly, it's the usage pattern. How many kilometers they're going to need to do their job, and suiting the application and the profile of the energy storage to fit that application.
Right. And also, before I conclude, just to get a sense, your partnership is an exclusive partnership, or would you be open to more partners in terms of technical JVs or other partnerships feasible to the business?
Anything's open right now. Certainly, our first step right now is to get into the marketplace and establish ourselves commercially. But we're absolutely open to more opportunities. We have multiple partners around the world that we do business with, and we're certainly not.
Right. A perspective from you as well.
Yeah, so basically what we are looking for is that Advantech is already doing fuel system developments in India. Agility has been doing fuel system developments around the world.
Yeah.
So there are two different types of technology and visions available that can join together in favor of the customer. Improvements may happen, new technologies can come in. And second side, Advantech doesn't have today storage solutions. Okay, so storage in terms of electric or in terms of LNG or in terms of CNG. Okay, and that brings a big opportunity to Advantech to partner with Agility on both fueling system as well as on a storage system. So the idea is to work together and find out better solutions for the customer, customize them together, and go to customer and do it their end. Take the pain of the customer. Our engineering team can do it for them.
Right. Yeah. Together, have you all earmarked as a JV, as an entity, both of you all together? Have you earmarked any capex and opex for the next year or 5 years?
That's all to be worked out over the next months.
Right. Okay.
I will say, I'll add one thing to the partnership as well. Our goal is India for India first. We want to serve the Indian marketplace with Indian partner, with Indian manufacturing, but it's not limited to that.
Right.
It's very, very likely there's an opportunity to say India for the rest of the world as well, because we think there's manufacturing technical capabilities in this marketplace that we can exploit in other markets.
Right.
But that would definitely be phase two. So India for India first, India for rest of the world second.
Right. Glad to hear that. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you.